Hi, I'm Ron Erskine, and I'd like to talk to you about my new suspense novel, Prometheus Scorned. This is the second book of a trilogy, and as in my previous novel, Casting Demons into Swine, this story is based on events that I experienced while a practicing veterinarian in rural communities. The inspiration for Prometheus Scorned was a horrific tragedy that occurred during the early hours of a Sunday morning in March 1992 in an isolated valley in central Pennsylvania. 7 Amish barns and a schoolhouse were torched by an arsonist in less than 2 hours. You can imagine the chaos that followed as 24 fire companies from 4 counties responded to the blazes. 6 of the barns were destroyed, as well as scores of dairy cattle and horses. To make matters worse, this tragedy fell upon the farm families at a very bad time of the year, that is, right before the crop season was to begin. Fortunately, an outpouring of money, supplies, and labor poured from across the state, the community, and even the nation to help these families rebuild their lives. And the crops that season were very good. Thus, by the autumn of that year, the community had rebuilt itself, at least physically, but yet the arsonist remained at large. As in the first book, Prometheus Gore centers on a young veterinarian, Malcolm Cromartie, who is caught up in a web of suspense strung across a deceptively tranquil valley with a singular culture and terrain. At the start of the book, drought has descended upon the valley, and as the story unfolds, a series of suspicious barn fires further strains the community. As the dry spell and fires continue, Malcolm is drawn deeper into the tragedies, forcing him to confront some of the darker elements of human nature. Beyond the day-to-day life of a veterinarian in a rural community, I also relied on my personal experience of a house fire and interviews with volunteer firefighters and dairy farmers who endured barn fires themselves. I realized basic needs like water availability can be a problem, especially when battling blazes in isolated structures such as barns. When writing, I try to wrap readers in a plot of suspense and to offer a depth of characters who contribute to the story as well as a profound sense of place. I also explore agriculture itself, which I see as the struggle to provide food for our society, despite the relentless entropy of natural forces. This conflict never ends and shifts from one hurdle to another. Such things as viruses that sicken animals, pests that ravage crops, untimely freezes or rains, machinery breakdowns, all are part of the grind that pushes back on farmers every day. Superimposed on this way of life is the rural landscape itself, insular, reluctant to change, and solidly rooted in tradition. How rural communities cope with natural threats, not to mention sociopathic behavior on the part of some of their neighbors, is the canvas that I use to paint Prometheus Scorned. I hope the story within this book's pages ring of real life and people, as well as entertain you.